Bill Woods was the Show 1 winner in 2020. In the same weekend, Zachary Graybiel knocked out a victory at Show 2 and the weekend overall. Now, locked in a last-minute struggle, this late-season marathon may be the beginning of the end. You know, we weren't certain we were going to get this one in, but just under the wire, we bring you the 2021 Tuff Truck Championships from the heart of Capital City in Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, at the Pennsylvania Farm Show Complex. 16 of the toughest trucks in motorsports get ready to do battle at one of the premier indoor events in the region, if not in the entire country, right here in the Farm Show Complex. They've got to get through 2 shows. The winner of each will face off in a grand championship after show number 1. If one person wins both events, they will automatically be seated as the grand champion, and there have been some changes in the field. One of the guys who ran for that grand championship last year was none other than Bill Woods in the Senseless Racing XJ. He has since gotten some new iron, and Tim Howard is standing by to talk to Bill about his new Jeep.
Last year, 2020, the winner of the first show. I know you went on, and we won't talk about the rest of the show after that.
A little short at the end, yes.
A little short, okay.
A little short, about a quarter panel away from winning the grand champion, but I'm back with a new piece. I think if you remember after the last show, I told you that was that Jeep's swan song, and that was its last run, so I built this one soon after that, and we're going to see what it'll do in this little arena.
Have you had this out on the track yet at all?
I ran it at some shows this year, and I'm still trying to get the hang of it. It's a different beast than the Cherokee. It drives a whole lot different. So I'm still learning it, but I think in this little arena here, I think we'll do pretty good with it.
Yeah, from what I'm saying, or what I heard, is they've got a nice little 360 going around the barrel. Now, I drove Jeeps before on the tracks. They corner amazingly. That might be the spot that you're going to make the time up. Is that what you're thinking?
That's certainly what I'm hoping for.
All right, well, let's keep that a secret, all right? We won't tell anybody about that.
All right, yeah, we'll keep that between us.
Well, I'd really like to wish you the best of luck today, man. And I'm going to come see you after the first show, hopefully to congratulate you.
That's certainly what I'm hoping for, too.
Right. But you got to do me a favor. If we win the first one, you got to win the second one, too.
That's absolutely my goal.
All right, man. Good luck again. We'll talk to you soon, Bill.
Well, Bill is certainly in good company here as we have the Show 1 and 2 champion from last year, of course, Bill Woods and Zachary Graybiel, who you saw him get into it with there, and the Show 1 and 2 champion from the year before, Gary Green and Trevor Myers, will be doing battle here. Here's a look at the first half of our 16-truck bracket. 8 trucks there. Jackie Woods will be taking on Scotty Douglas. Scotty is the guy who went the wrong way last year and gave a thrill to some of our track crew when he bonsai'd the back of the jump. Then it'll be Charlie Wagner representing Midnight Madness 4x4 taking on Corey Pappas representing Team Green in that beautiful black and red flame Jeep. Then it'll be Josh Funk and Mike Cunningham, a pair of Renegade Road Rippers. And then, of course, the man we just spoke with, Bill Woods, taking on a first-time driver in Brandon Walters. He'll be driving Jason Kaufman's black and green machine at the end of the first half of our 16-truck bracket. Out rolls Jackie Woods. You see a few of the other competitors eyeballing the competition there. And Jackie out of Delta, Pennsylvania, running the Jurassic Jeep. She's going up against that beautiful black Grand Cherokee. That is Scotty Douglas. Scotty, as I said, went the wrong way. Still managed to go a couple rounds in spite of it. He wasn't the only one to do that last year. And as Tim mentioned in that interview, there's been a change in this track. No longer a chicane over there on the right-hand side, on the right-hand lane. When you enter that turn, instead you have to do a 360 around the barrel. We'll see how much that changes the dynamic here when our first 2 take off. They wait on green. Pretty easy off the line. You can see the dirt is fairly dry coming off the starting line. Jackie Woods just now entering that 360 section as Scotty Douglas makes his way down to the second full turn. Now, if this track was done properly, they should even up about the time that Scotty completes his run around this barrel. It's kind of how the chicane worked, but there tended to be some slow-ups there for the person who entered it on their second half. Now, as you can see, Douglas with a clear advantage as Jackie Woods has to hug the barrel tight, get right up against that wall. Douglas still out in front, although Woods started to close the gap, but it looks like Scotty Douglas will take the victory here in the first race of round number 1. And that was a fairly conservative matchup between those two. Douglas will move on to the quarterfinal round. I guarantee you we are going to get some faster racing as the night goes on. Here comes Charlie Wagner in that awesome-looking Volkswagen GTI. He goes side by side with the first member of Team Green we're going to see tonight, Coyer Pappas, who had the yellow and black Jeep we saw here for a couple of years, in this beautiful black and flame red XJ on the right-hand side of the course. He has put a hurting on this Jeep already this year, snapped off the left front tire down in North Carolina. Now running side by side with the smallest vehicle in the class right now, Charlie Wagner in the front-wheel drive GTI, and you see him using the e-brake to make it around the corner. Pappas trying to make short work of the barrel. Look at Wagner, though. That little Volkswagen is making tracks, but Coyer Pappas did a great job in the first leg. They are going to be right there together coming out of the, well, no, not this time. Pappas gets bound up with the wall, and that's likely all she wrote unless Wagner makes a big mistake. You can see Pappas trying to pour on the power, but it's not going to happen. Wagner will cross the finish line, taking the second victory of this round. He will match up likely with Scotty Douglas in the next round. Wait to see what the pairings actually are. Keep in mind, we have 2 halves, a 16-truck field. We're only running 8 right now. We'll run another 8 here in a moment. But right there, you can see Pappas actually got into the wall. He had a good race going until he got stuck down on this top end of the course up against the wall and had to back up. It really hurt his time. Now, a pair of guys representing the Renegade Road Rippers for the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. Mike Cunningham in the orange Jeep called Loose Nut, taking on Josh Funk in the Young Gun. 2 very aggressive drivers, different choice in the tires. On this, you can see the squiggle treads on Loose Nut. We'll see if that helps him. He can really get down and dig into this dirt. It's a softer compound. I don't know what air pressure he's running in those, but he seems to be making tracks right now as Josh Funk now comes to the left-hand lane. As they swap lanes, this one could be close. Funk makes a mistake. Up against the wall a little bit. He's going to have to go some. Cunningham's already there. What a race here in the first round. Josh Funk edging out Mike Cunningham with a come from behind. The Young Gun moving on into the quarterfinal round, and here comes our final pairing of the first half of round number 1. You see the police lights. That is Bill Woods, probably the guy with the most experience in the sport, taking on a guy with no experience. That's Brandon Walters driving Jason Kaufman's Mischief machine. Woods out of Delta, Pennsylvania is the defending champion for this Show 1 bracket from 2020. We'll see if he can pick up another victory here and maybe have another shot at the overall. Walters has the quick side this time around. Bill Woods will have the quick side coming back. They look like they're really spread out. Believe it or not, they're about even at this point. Woods actually may have a little edge as Walters is getting into that last leg late. Bill Woods with a problem right there. I'm not sure what happened. He slows up, almost comes to a complete stop, but he'll maintain his advantage as he heads toward the final corner. Walters not doing too bad considering he's never been in the seat before, but Bill Woods will move on into the next round. The Senseless Racing Wrangler, the Beach Patrol Jeep moving on, and we will be back with the second half here in Harrisburg.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date show, ticket info, and a wide selection of photo and video galleries, visit monstersmonthly.com.
Listen up. It doesn't matter if you just watch your first show or you're a longtime fan of the sport and you want to know more about monster trucks, well, tune into the Throttle Out Show on Monday and Thursday nights, live on our YouTube channel at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. You'll get the inside scoop and all the behind-the-scenes footage and monster trucks and soon-to-be all other motorsports. Life is better when your foot is to the floor. So remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Crush This. For an inside look at the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, available on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. And by RPM Army, featuring action-packed content from around the web. Visit rpmarmy.com, your source for motorsports on the go.
Well, we have seen some great racing so far. It's about to get faster as we continue on with round number 1 here at the Pennsylvania Farm Show Complex in Harrisburg. Our first pairing of the second half, loading them in right now. Josh Johnson, another member of the Renegade Road Rippers, taking on our Show 2 champion from 2019, that being Trevor Myers, and then our Show 1 champion and runner-up of Show 2 from 2019, Gary Green. He will take on a hard charger in Leon Hostetter, so he'll be one of the most consistent drivers against one of the wildest drivers. Then it's Zachary Graybeal, one of the most aggressive, taking on Chris Wolf, the nice guy of the sport, and Matt Coyer, another member of the Renegade Road Rippers, will go up against Jason Keys, another member of Team Green. So that is the second 8 of round number 1. 16-truck field. There you see Josh Johnson in the blue XJ staging against that Subaru GL. Another car in the field. That's Trevor Myers again. Was runner-up at Show 1 in 2019 and then took the victory at show number 2. That was before we were doing the Grand Championships, and he's looking pretty good right now as he makes his way around the barrel. These shorter wheelbase cars may actually have an advantage. Josh Johnson getting real aggressive, though, as he heads into the second leg. Bouncing around a lot, almost knocks over the disqualification marker there. Center track, that little orange cone. Myers right there with him. This one is going to come down to the wire. Myers trying to cut in there, and they make contact in the final turn. Josh Johnson will pick up a victory in round number 1 as those two bang fenders. I don't think they're going to penalize him for that. Watch it again. Johnson goes in tight. Myers trying to go in tight, but he was pushing a little bit right there, and Johnson just spanked him with the rear end. And there may have been some damage done on the run. It looks like Myers is limping it back to the pit area now. Gary Green, the man who beat Trevor Myers at Show 1 in 2019 and then went runner-up to Myers at Show number 2, stages against Leon Hostetter, who's familiar to the guys of the Renegade Road Rippers. Leon actually took time off of tough truck racing through most of this year to drive the Master of Disaster for Zane Ratu out on the Renegade Monster Truck Tour now. He's one of the toughest. If you can't tell by the destruction on that Jeep, he's been on his top more than once. Gary Green, though, is a tough customer. Again, one of the most consistent guys in tough truck racing. This one's going to be close. One of them nudged the disqualification cone, but did not knock it over. Gary Green into the final turn first. Look at Hostetter trying to cut in there, and he bangs into Gary Green. The left rear quarter panel getting a little orange paint on it, and I'll tell you what, Gary Green is a pretty clean racer. He may not like that, but he knew Hostetter was not going to cut him any slack. You can tell Hostetter doesn't care. That thing is all banged up. Now, another Renegade Road Ripper. Here is Twisted Metal Zachary Graybeal. He's going to go side by side with Chris Wolf, who we saw kind of put a hurt on a couple of modified trucks earlier in the spring. He actually ran one of the modified guys so hard that guy ended up on his top. That being Brett Sponenberg of the Beer Money Modified Bronco. Now in this stock or a little bit modified, whatever you want to call this class, we'll call it stock. He's going to go side by side with Zachary Graybeal, who we've seen pick up quite a few wins over the 2020-2021 season. In fact, he was your grand champion here last year, and he is making tracks right now as he slides a little bit. You can see some of the slick spots on this track. There's a lot of dust, though. This dirt is breaking down quickly. Graybill making it around the barrel quick, and Chris Wolf just avoids a disqualification, but I don't think it's going to matter. It's very wise to not DQ yourself, because were Graybill to have made a mistake, he would have been second to DQ. Wolf would have automatically DQ'd himself, so he very wisely backed up and made another shot at it, but it was all for naught. Zachary Graybill made a legal run across the finish line. Now another Renegade Road Ripper. Here comes Matt Coyer, guy who's been very close to a championship here in the last couple years. Hasn't happened quite yet. The Hitchhiker's Ride Jeep is going to go side by side with another Team Green member, that being Jason Keys, the newest member of Team Green, but certainly a guy that's not new to tough truck racing in this awesome looking machine. Another Pennsylvanian right there. This should be a pretty tight one. You can see a lot of these guys put a pretty smooth tire, a slick tire on the back to try to allow the rear end to whip around on this dirt. We've seen it get tacky and high side guys here before. In fact, Tanner Grove ended up on his roof here last year. We get into the first turn, maybe a little, oh, definitely a lead for Matt Boyer as Jason Keys almost gets into the wall. Oh, and Boyer now has to back up. Any lead he had, it hasn't evaporated, but he's going to have to go now. Keys going to try to make quick work of the 360. A lead for Boyer. He almost knocks the barrel down, and that slowed him up big time. Another bobble into the final corner, but Keys cannot take advantage of it. Matt Boyer going to pick up the last first round win and move on into the quarterfinal round. We are just getting started as we knocked it down to 8, the Crazy 8 coming at you next from here at the 2021 Tough Truck Championships in Harrisburg.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. We're at the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out of.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
From 16, we are down to 8 here at the Pennsylvania Farm Show Complex in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Probably the most aggressive racing we've seen in quite some time in this building. And this show is certainly living up to the hype. A lot of people, again, did not think this was going to happen, and a lot of racers were very happy to see they get another shot at this championship. Charlie Wagner coming out of round number 1 to take on Scotty Douglas. Then it'll be Bill Woods against Josh Funk. That should be an awesome matchup. Gary Green taking on his former teammate, Josh Johnson. Gary and Josh, formerly both part of Team Green. Josh now moving over with the Renegade Road Rippers. Still good friends off the track, but believe me, when the helmets go on, the friendship goes out the window. And then a pair of Road Rippers in that last matchup, Matt Boyer and Zachary Graybill. Another pair of good friends out here. All these guys really part of one big family, but certainly the guys are representing the Renegade Road Rippers here seem to be on a more aggressive level maybe than some of the others now, as Charlie Wagner, who definitely doesn't want to tangle panels with anybody tonight in that beautiful little GTI, taking on this quite good-looking Jeep over here on the right-hand side. That's Scotty Douglas in the Grand Cherokee. Giving up a little bit of weight to Charlie Wagner, but Wagner, we'll see. I have a feeling that car is going to be at an advantage, mostly in that 360 section, because it's both more narrow and has a shorter wheelbase. He should be able to rock it right around these turns, especially with the track drying out. I'll tell you what, the guys who are getting through that 360 the best are doing one of two things. You can either try to donut your way around there. That's risky. If you can pull it off, though, you'll make up a ton of time. But the guys who really seem to be mastering it are the guys who are kind of treating it like two turns in one rather than just one long turn. And there, look at Charlie Wagner just driving around it. They are right there together. The short wheelbase paying off for that GTI, and he can really squeeze between the wall and the barrel there. He gets I won't say an easy win, but definitely a fairly dominant win there as he just motored right around the track. Scotty Douglas will go back to the pits and wait for show number 2. We'll have another shot at the championship there, but you can see right here, both of them just finishing up their second leg, and Wagner coming off the slow side. That shows you how quick these lanes even out. This track tightens up in a hurry, and Charlie Wagner was able to take advantage of a little mistake down there by Scotty Douglas. Right now, Tim Howard is making his way over to talk, and the winner of our first quarterfinal matchup, Charlie Wagner.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're over here with Charlie Wagner. Holy cow, man, this little car is flying. You made it to the top 4, buddy. How you feeling?
Well, actions speak louder than words right now, and my hands are shaking like crazy.
I see that.
I live 15 minutes from this place, so I really want to win it.
All right. Well, your car is, you are definitely faster than anybody that's been out there so far. So I'm going to leave you alone to your time. I'm going to come back and see you after this round, man. Good luck.
I know we're supposed to be impartial, but I have a feeling that Tim is pulling for Charlie here tonight, as those guys have kind of an overlapping history in this sport. Now, Bill Woods, the veteran, the crafty veteran, the legend, taking on Josh Funk. You want to talk about somebody that has tangled with Tim Howard before? Bill Woods is a guy who has swapped paint with the man. Woods talking about getting a hang on this Jeep. He looks like he's doing so. Funk makes a mistake right there, and it could cost him. This may all depend on how Bill Woods gets through the 360 section. Josh Funk driving hard. They get very close with the door handles there. Look at Funk riding the outside wall. Final corner, Funk gets there first and just dusts Bill Woods' grill down. Woods will not move on into the semifinal round, and that was not for lack of trying. Josh Funk ran the wheels off the young gun. You see our next pairing coming out of the tunnel right now. It's going to be former teammates and good friends Gary Green and Josh Johnson. This should be an awesome matchup right now. Tim Howard is making his way over to talk to Josh Funk.
Renegade is definitely being represented in here, but that little car up there is flying. What do you got for him, Josh?
I don't know. I guess I'll just have to play it smart and, watch out for anything out there.
It looks like tonight Rubbin is racing, so that car's smaller than you.
Yeah, I was told not to hit it because it's very pristine, so I'm going to do my best.
We'll just get ahead of him and you ain't got to worry about it then, right, Josh?
Yep.
All right, man. We wish you the best of luck. I hope to come see you after this one.
Thank you.
All right, Josh.
Right there in the left lane, the white Jeep is another guy who would love to avoid knocking panels with anybody against a guy who's been banging doors with people all season long. Josh Johnson in the blue Jeep. Gary had a hand in that Jeep's creation. He would love to make sure that Johnson gets knocked out in this round. If Johnson wants to beat anybody, though, it's his former teammate Gary Green. Green looking good so far, but Johnson got through that 360 section very quickly, and Green is having a little problem with it. He keeps getting over by the wall. That's going to slow him down. Johnson actually makes slight contact with the wall coming out of that turn. They're close, but Johnson gets away and will pick up a very important victory, and that had to be one of the most exciting victories of his tough truck racing career, knocking out one of the toughest. Gary Green, he's going to head right back into the tunnel. I believe Tim Howard's headed over that way, as well as our pair of Renegade Road Rippers stages up. Tim does indeed have Josh Johnson in the tunnel.
All right, we're over here with Josh Johnson, man. You made it to the top 4. That was some serious racing going on out there, man. How's it feel out there?
No, it's slick, but it's fun. And this is the first time I ever made it out of the first round, so.
Well, congratulations on that in itself, making the top 4 in this field of some awesome machines and drivers. Yeah. You got to feel pretty good. How you feeling going into this main?
I'm getting ready to race another Renegade truck, so.
Well, just take them out the door then.
I don't got much left.
Yeah, you do, man. Good luck out there. I'll come check with you after this next round, man. Congratulations again, Josh.
Yeah, Tim's always wanted to stir the pot, but we don't mind. Makes for some great racing. Now, a pair of road rippers, Zach Graybiel, last year's grand champion in Twisted Metal, a moniker he's definitely deserving of. As you saw, he and Bill Woods got together last year. He's going up against one of the best hole shots in the game, that being Matt Boyer in Hitchhiker's Ride. This should be a very close race to the end. Boyer doing very well on the quick side, and Zachary Graybiel making short work of the 360 section on the slow side. Boyer with a little bobble entering that section, but he zings around the barrel. Look at this. This one is going to come down to the final turn. No, Graybiel almost gets into the wall and gives up any hope of catching Matt Boyer. Hitchhiker's Ride, both of them catch that little hole at center track up there, but Matt Boyer will move on into the semifinal round. The dust is flying in here as the dirt is breaking down quickly. The track crew doing all they can to keep up with it. There you see Josh Funk talking to Leon Hostetter about what is now about to happen. The word is we're getting water on the track right now. They're trying to keep the dust down, trying to get a little more tack in it. I don't know if it's going to work, though. The water seems to just sit up on top of this dirt, which is breaking down very quickly. In the meantime, Tim Howard has caught up with Matt Boyer.
All right, we're over here with Matt Boyer. You made the top 4. And I see there's 3 Renegades, but they got this imposter in here in a car that is really quick tonight. Yeah. What do you got for him, Matt?
Oh, we're going to see. It looks like they just wet the track down, so it's going to be slick.
Yeah, slow is going to be fast.
Yeah, that's what I have a feeling.
You guys are coming out of this long corner here hot, and it's been making or breaking each race down here. I thought it was going to be the barrel. The barrel doesn't seem like it's really doing too much, man.
No, you just can't be afraid of the throttle.
Oh, the pedal on the right. You use that one? All right, man. Well, we wish you the best of luck, man.
Thank you.
And I'm going to come see you afterwards.
Well, Matt's another guy that's not afraid to run in the mud. We've seen him take some victories in absolute swamp conditions up here in the Northeast. We'll see, though, how they handle it when we come back to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The Final Four are next. Welcome back to the Pennsylvania Farm Show Complex in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. This beautiful, spacious arena annually playing host to one of the most sought-after championships left in the sport and one of the premier indoor events in the sport. Charlie Wagner now rolling out the semifinals, our Final Four, and you can see it's a sea of road rippers here this weekend as Charlie has to try to knock out at least 2 of the 3 of them. If he can make it out of this round, he'll take on Josh Funk, and then it'll be Matt Coyer against Josh Johnson. Right now, though, the Little Green GTI tries to knock out a very aggressive young gun, Josh Funk. So give us a good opportunity to see how slick this track really is. Look at him ice skating right there. Funk almost enters the corral, and look at Wagner trying to get traction. Funk, though, look, he's in trouble. just avoids contact with the outside wall and now backing his way into the tunnel. He's still in that corner trying to get out of it. Just now gets away. Charlie Wagner just narrowly avoids contact with the corral doors on the other corner of the building. And this is going to come down to the final turn. Look at Wagner trying to get traction under the front tires. Finally, he gets a hold of something. He and Funk are both away. Look at Funk pouring on the power and into the wall. And right across the bow of Charlie Wagner's Volkswagen. They're handing the win to Funk, but we see the barrel down in the final corner, and there is some question as to who actually knocked it down. Both drivers made contact with it, but the question is, was it all the way down when Wagner hit it? Was it wobbling, and then Funk hit it? So these drivers in the corner saw it, but they saw it from behind, so there's some question among the track officials and the drivers who were standing down here in the tunnel. Corey Pappas bringing up some video there, it looks like, and we'll have an answer here soon. The word we're getting is that Wagner did indeed knock it down. We'll know in a moment here on board with him. And yes, he did. And wow, look at how close Josh Funk was. Left some mud on the windshield of Charlie Wagner's Volkswagen. That could have been nasty, and he actually got into him. And then this was in the previous corner. I told you he was down there for a while. Look at the driving job to get that thing turned around. He has to do a 6-point turn to make a hard left as our final pairing of the semifinals makes their way to the line. There you see Matt Coyer in Hitchhiker's Ride, the green Jeep he has won on some very slick tracks in the past. He's going to take on Josh Johnson, a very hard-driving Josh Johnson in the Mistress, a pair of Renegade Road Rippers representing the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. And Boyer's signature takeoff out of the hole, his hole shot, was definitely hampered there with the wet track. Both of them trying to avoid that disqualification marker. Over-rotating a little bit, trying to work his way through the 360. Look at Boyer using the loam that's accumulated along the base of the wall to try to keep the truck out center track. And Josh Johnson twice now has made contact with the wall, almost high sides. Trying to close the gap. Problems for Boyer making it through that final 360. Johnson into the wall again. Fourth contact, and he's in trouble. Spins down the wall. And Boyer needs to take advantage of it as Johnson is away, but it's not going to do him any good as he spins out. One more time, Matt Boyer going to pick up the win and go on to the finals, and down goes the barrel on Josh Johnson. Tell you what, he fought valiantly there. Look, one, I believe two right here. He made contact with the wall, hard contact with the wall at least 3 times, if not more. Just avoided it there, but when he hit the jump with no traction, look at that, spins down the wall. He rounded off the corners of that nut. Holy cow. Took a nice square XJ and made it look like a stop sign. The man in the rolling octagon. The Mistress headed back to the starting line to battle with Charlie Wagner for 3rd place. And watering the track, I'll tell you what, it totally changed the dynamic of this. It's slower is definitely faster here. But you have to be able to make a legal run. Both of these guys knocked a barrel over in their last pass. This could be a battle of errors right here. We'll see, though. Wagner may have learned something in that last round. Look at that. Johnson already getting into the corral. Trying to make this pass here. He's on the brakes, heads straight into the wall once again. Charlie Wagner going to try to take advantage of that mistake. Each of them with different advantages and disadvantages. I'd say right now the GTI has to have the advantage in this final leg. Look how quickly Wagner gets around there. Pushing the little green car. Johnson trying to make his way into that corner first. He scrubs the wall. Can Wagner take advantage of it? They're together. Wow. That was just for third place. One of the closest runs of the night. The win will go to Charlie Wagner in the Midnight Madness GTI as Josh Funk gets ready to roll out. You see him looking over his left shoulder. We have some developments down in the tunnel right now as we're getting word Matt Coyer cannot get fired. In fact, look right there. You can see them actually pushing his Jeep off toward the permanent pits out of the tunnel. So Funk is going to come back to the line. And check this out. Charlie Wagner gets a rebirth in the final round race. Josh Funk knocked him out. He's going to have to try to do it again. So Wagner may get some revenge here as Funk, who cut it close in there with him in that semifinal round race, almost got into the GTI. Wagner was none too happy about it. Get a chance to take out some frustrations with the little GTI on the XJ. This is your championship for show number 1 here in Harrisburg. What a wild afternoon of racing it's been. We still have a whole nother show to go as they wait on green. Josh Funk on the left-hand side of your screen, taking on Charlie Wagner on the right-hand side. Funk out of the hole hard. Both of them still skating around down there, and he again has to get into reverse to make the corner. You're on board with Charlie Wagner. Look at Josh Funk just narrowly avoid the corner of the wall going toward the tunnel. Again in reverse, just narrowly avoids hitting the disqualification marker. It's going to be a tight one coming down the final leg. Wagner making the penultimate turn. Josh Funk a little bit behind. He's going to have to lay on the power. Wagner is already there. Here comes Josh Funk. He's in trouble, into the wall hard. And Charlie Wagner will take a well-deserved victory. He will get both first and third place here tonight. What a battle between those two, and you see Josh Funk is moving around. He's got the helmet off. Zach Graybeal down there with him right now. I tell you what, Josh is feeling that one. It's not the hardest hit we've seen him take, but wow. He was definitely battling for it. Look at this final corner. You'll see Funk come into the left side of your screen and just slams that corner wall there. We'll get a look at it from the other end of the building. Watch, Wagner is out on him. Funk tries to get there first. He got tail first into the wall, and it spun him into that corral door. And this is what worried us a little bit right here. You can see him moving around. I'm not going to say exactly what happened to him, but any racer knows there's a lower strap and a 5-point harness. He got a little bit of a sports injury on that one. Let's watch it from on board. Okay, you can actually see him get into the wall from the onboard. And your winning run goes to Charlie Wagner from right down the road here in Harrisburg. It's a big win for him, and look at the front of Josh Funk's Renegade Road Ripper Young Gun Jeep. Unbelievable. What a final round. Charlie Wagner already in the back trying to help Trevor Myers get back in for show number 2 as some of the contact that was made with him earlier caused him to break. You can see Josh Funk getting ready to pull that off. Tim Howard is running down right now to get a word with Charlie.
Charlie, I know you're super busy, man, and we're going to leave you alone. We want to come by and congratulate you on a very impressive win today.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I've been coming to Harrisburg since 2004. 17 years, finally got a win here.
Look, I'm going to let you keep working. I'm going to come get you in a little bit when things are calmed down, buddy. Congratulations.
That is a big, big win for Charlie Wagner. He is in line to maybe get a grand championship. Thought he was out of it, came out of third place to a rebirth in the championship round, made good on it. Again, slower, was definitely faster on this track. As you look at the damage on the front of Josh Funk's Young Gun Jeep. One more time, look at Funk, bang, into the wall. Charlie Wagner driving the Little Green GTI for Midnight Madness 4x4 on to a well-deserved first-place victory. It has been a wild one. We still have show number 2 to go and the monster trucks coming up in a few more episodes. We will see you then from here in Harrisburg.